And meanwhile, this federal government shutdown will be affecting federal employees on Guam, as federal jobs on Guam, which means it affects certain operations of the military bases as well as the Guam National Guard. Here's more.
Due to a lapse in federal funding, employees have been furloughed. Therefore, I will be out of the office and unable to respond to voicemails until the furlough is ended.
The federal government has shut down after the U.S. Congress failed to pass a budget for this fiscal year. For Guam, this means federal jobs have been affected and employees have been furloughed until further notice. This affects about 90 Guam National Guard members. Active duty Guard members will not be affected, but dual status military technicians or MilTechs of the National Guard, who are part-time soldiers or airmen and full-time federal civilian employees, were furloughed by DoD today. Non-dual status federal technicians were also furloughed. According to a release from the Guam Guard, their Adjutant General Major General Roderick Leon Guerrero directed the Guard's full-time active duty force to work with the federal and local governments to try and find programs and benefits that could be available to these technicians. The technicians make up about 30% of the Guam Guard's full-time support force. Because of these furloughs, the ID card office at the Guard's Readiness Center in Barrigada will be closed. The Guam Air Guard's ID services will be by appointment only. The AAFES Gas Express and Shopette will remain open. U.S. Naval Base Guam Commanding Officer Captain Hans Shawley issued a statement on the Naval Base Guam Facebook page outlining the effects of this federal shutdown on the local Navy bases. Captain Shawley said essential services of the base would continue. Civilian, government, and employees of tenant commands were asked to show up to work this morning to be informed of their status. Service members were all instructed to report to work. The following services will remain open: the Navy Base Guam, Navy Exchange, and all other satellite NEX outlets, including the Mini-Mart, will remain open with normal operating hours. The NBG Commissary will remain open. Dodea schools will remain open with normal class schedules. All MWR facilities will remain open on a normal schedule until further notice. If the shutdown continues for an extended time, they may change food service venue hours to match the demands. The Child Development Center and all of its services for children will remain unaffected and open. The Naval Hospital will remain open for emergency care. Fire and emergency services and naval security forces are all unaffected by this shutdown. Hence, all emergency services will continue without interruption. However, the following services may be interrupted. Routine facility repairs, to include base housing, routine trouble calls, will be limited. Emergency repairs in order to prevent damage or injury will be addressed, but there may be some delays. Housing assignments and routine processing will be affected. The Visitor Control Center will be closed for new passes, to include contractor and visitor pass issues. The Commercial Inspection Gate will continue normal vehicular inspections to allow continued commercial delivery and support. Base operations may be impacted, specifically non-essential services, so please expect some delays. Captain Shawley wrote, quote, "This is a very dynamic situation. We will continue to update you as often as possible and when the shutdown status changes. You have my personal word that we will do our utmost within our federally mandated direction to continue to serve the fleet, the fighter, and our families," end quote. The national parks on Guam would have been affected. However, the War in the Pacific National Historical Park will stay open thanks to their private non-profit partner called Pacific Historic Parks. According to a release from Park Superintendent Barbara Alberti, the T. Stell Newman Visitor Center, Asan Beach, Ga'an and Apaka Points, PD Guns, and Asan Bay Overlook Memorial will all remain open.